You know that extra room in your house? The one that's not a bedroom, not an office, just storage. What's actually in there? Boxes. Things you bought, maybe used once or twice, and then just put away. Look around your own house right now. What's that one thing you bought, used maybe once, and now it's just sitting there collecting dust? Or maybe it's not even tucked away in storage. Maybe it's just sitting in your living room, making the whole space feel cluttered and too full. Want to know what mine is? A soft box. But I have made good adjustments now, using the minimalistic money rules. Every object we own kind of costs us money 3 times, right? Once to buy it, then to maintain it, then just to store it. I hadn't really sat with that thought before. A couple of years ago, I had this habit. I'd walk around my own house looking for what felt outdated, so I could upgrade it and get rid of the old one. I wasn't questioning it much. It just felt normal. Looking back, I think I was quietly losing money to inflation every time I did that. New always costs more than the old sold for. It's such a simple thing, but I hadn't connected the dots. I keep wondering, what if that same money had just stayed somewhere like an ETF instead? It would have been working for me this whole time. I don't know, maybe you've got a version of that room too. A drawer, a closet, something. I'd actually love to hear about it. So that's kind of where this video comes from. I've been exploring what people call minimalist money, and I want to just walk you through what I'm actually doing with it. Not as advice, more as, here's my experiment. Come think through it with me. First, I want to clear something up for myself, honestly, because the word minimalist used to put me off a bit. I don't think this is about having less just to have less. The way I've come to see it, it's more about figuring out what's enough on your own terms. Enough money, enough security, enough freedom. Not excess, not pressure, just enough. That's still something I'm figuring out for myself, honestly. What I've noticed is the less I chase more, the less I find myself comparing. My choices start matching what actually matters to me instead of what everyone around me is doing. And weirdly, the biggest thing I've gotten out of it isn't even a bigger number in my account. It's just more peace, day to day. So for me, it's less about doing without and more about deciding what's enough for me and then protecting that decision. That's my take on it anyway. I'm curious what yours is. With that in mind, let me just walk you through a few things I've been experimenting with. Not rules you have to follow, just what's been working for me so far. Let's go through them together. The first one. When money comes in, I move something to savings and investing before I spend on anything. I'm not waiting to see what's left over at the end of the month because, honestly, for me, there usually wasn't anything left over. The second thing. I try to only replace something once it's actually stopped working, not just because I'm bored of it or something newer showed up. This one connects straight back to that room I mentioned earlier. Third, when there's extra money, I've been trying to put it toward things that can grow, like investments or skills, rather than things that'll just sit around. Fourth, trying to actually name a number for myself. What does enough look like for me monthly? Because without that number, I noticed I'd just keep adjusting upward every time I earned more. Fifth, I deleted a couple of shopping apps and gave myself a 24-hour pause before non-essential buys. Honestly, I did this because willpower alone wasn't cutting it for me. And sixth, something small. Before buying, I try to think about how many times I'll actually use the thing, not just what it costs today. A lot of this clicked for me after reading Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. She talks about money as something we trade our life energy for, our actual hours. That reframed things for me. Now, before I spend, I quietly ask myself, is this worth that piece of my time? I don't always get it right, but I ask it more than I used to. Here's how this started for me, if you're curious. Back in 2025, I sat down and had a conversation with an AI tool. I basically told it what I'd been buying, what I thought I actually needed, and how little I was investing at the time. And it was honest with me. We went back and forth on it, and I came away thinking, maybe I should slow down on purchases and focus more on investing. I want to be really clear about something here. An AI tool isn't a financial advisor, and neither am I. I'm just sharing what I noticed and what I've been trying. I'd genuinely love it if we figured some of this out together. Since around mid-2025, I've been leaning more into investing and trying not to chase every trend. The upgrades, the what's new. If something's still working for me, I leave it alone. Before I spend, I try to check it against one question for myself. Am I doing this for the right reason? For me? Not always successfully, but I try. I've also started planning my expenses the month before. So by the time the cash actually arrives, I've already decided where the investing amount goes and what's left is what I live on. And honestly, Doing it this way just leaves less room for me to talk myself into the wrong decision in the moment because, let's be real, spending feels good. It gives us this little rush even if it doesn't actually fill anything. I don't know, does that sound familiar to you too? I want to zoom out for a second. I keep coming back to this image. Someone at 26, tea going cold on the counter, sitting with a calculator. One quiet decision. A percentage of every dollar toward debt and low-cost index funds, the rest running an entire life. No guru, no bestseller behind it, just a number and the willingness to actually look at it. It's less a highlight reel and more the slow, quiet parts of 10 years like that. The silence some of that takes, the social bit not spending the way people around you are, that doubt that tends to creep in around year 3 when it feels like nothing's really moving yet. And then, eventually, there's a turning point people describe. When you actually feel, not just see on a spreadsheet. And apparently there's this strange, ordinary Tuesday morning that ends up belonging entirely to you. Here's a thought I keep sitting with. Maybe this was never really about having less. Maybe it's more about control, making room on purpose for what actually matters instead of letting everything else quietly crowd in. So the money's real, sure, but I think the clarity might be the bigger prize. Maybe the real question was never, can I afford this? Maybe it's, who am I building with this? I'm still sitting with that one myself. Quick honest note before I go on. Everything here is just my own experience, shared for education and entertainment. I'm not a financial advisor and neither is any AI tool. Please talk to an actual professional before any major financial decision. If that 10-year picture had you thinking, I've got a video on it already, something I'm trying myself, so feel free to go sit with that one too. And there's another one where I talk about table banking, a small experiment 4 friends and I tried, starting with 24,000 shillings, ending the year with over 120,000, and we're still building on it. If you're curious how a group of friends actually did that, and what we're thinking of doing next, that one's there for you too. This channel, for me, is really just a place where I'm documenting whatever I'm actually trying. Real numbers, things I've read, conversations that shifted something for me. If that's something you want to follow along with, subscribing means you won't miss where it goes next. And honestly, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are you doing with your own money right now? What's your version of that room? I'll be reading, and I'd like to bring some of what you share into future videos. I'd genuinely love for us to figure some of this out side by side. Not me telling you how, just us comparing notes as we go. Whatever financial freedom ends up looking like for you, I hope you get there. I'll see you in the next one.